Yeah, it's up right there.
Sorry, Andrew. Let me go behind you.
And so we have more police action. Police are doing more barricade to bar the area. Traffic will stop flowing from this area just now, but the outside, the conference center, bringing this protest action, calling for justice, calling on the government to do its job, calling on the commissioner to do its job and provide justice to these unsolved murders, corruption in the country. And we are calling for justice for Adriana Younge. We are calling for justice for all the other persons that were murdered, Joel Henry and the Henry boys, Harris Singh, Ricardo Fortier, Keon Fortier. We have Adriana Younge. We have Kwame Ring. We have Ronald Waddle. And so this is what's happening outside of the conference center right now. We have leader of the Alliance for Change out here. We have Dr. Terence Campbell and other members of the protesting party. We have some MPs out here. We have MP Dawn Hastings Williams. We have MP Beverly Alert, all out here. And of course we have police officers doing their job as well, taking us out. And so, Mr. Campbell, you're out here this morning and you're calling for justice. What are your thoughts on so far what the president said on this whole matter pertaining to Adriana Younge?
I think Mr. Hughes dealt at length with the current situation just now. But I was disappointed that the president still seems unwilling to invite officially a foreign investigative agency and of those that have been recommended, Scotland Yard, the FBI, or the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The American ambassador in her comments yesterday suggested a willingness to forward a request from the Guyana government for FBI help here in Guyana. And I will respectfully ask the president, in the interest of bringing closure to recent events, for him to accept that offer from the American ambassador. But let me just divert a little bit from your question. I want you to take a look at my placard.
Peaceful protest is free speech.
There seems to be a lot of doubt in the country at this time, including one article that was written kind of questioning the right to protest. And I'm happy that the American ambassador answered it for us all in Guyana, that there's nothing wrong with peaceful protest. In fact, I'm a little disturbed at the amount of police attention that we are attracting with such a peaceful protest. Peaceful protest is free speech. Peaceful protest is not terrorism. And we've seen many people charged in recent times here in Guyana for terrorism in circumstances where that law is not appropriate. And it represents again the repressive hands of the state. And that has got to stop. The other thing the president could do for me is have a chat with his ministers and the DPP and so on. And immediately, I know he should not interfere with prosecution, but something needs to be done. If the DPP, those charges, the DPP has a way when private criminal charges are instituted, she jumps in and she does a null pros. She stops the prosecution. So she needs to jump in here now, because there are people languishing in our jails under the charge of terrorism that were not appropriate. We have the case of the young lady, the marks to go public. She can be heard any crime, and I'm treading into Mr. Hughes' territory, any crime requires generally, other than crimes of strict liability, they require two aspects, an act and an intention. She may have spoken the words that she spoke, but she was clear. I do not want to be recorded. I hope you're not recording me. And to my mind, that shows an intention that her words were not to go beyond the person with whom she was having the conversation. So I cannot see what she said arising to the level of public mischief, and I cannot see it arising to the level of terrorism. She is a mother. She didn't get to spend her Mother's Day in jail. I'm not defending what she did. Not by any stretch of imagination am I defending what she said. But I will stand up for her to say that the crime for which she was arrested, charged, and is now...
I see one other thing before you go. You were saying just not we are attracting the police.
Yes.
But it seems to me like a lot of persons are attracting to you as well, because recently I see a matter filed by the folks of the sheriffs calling for legal actions against you.
Yes.
You want to comment on that?
I will comment on it. I understand, and I've seen people have sent me stuff. First of all, Amir Ahmad is a coward. He has blocked me on his page and he's blocked me on Facebook. He is a coward. We've seen videos of him fighting for food with young children. So I want to say that in relation to the matter that he has raised, I am ready today with my defense. Today with my defense. He has raised a matter that I raised with him years ago, and he had nothing to say about it. The evidence is there on my Facebook page. I said, I spoke to you about this matter years ago, and he never did. He never said anything about it. So we are ready with our defense. But let me also let you in. We're going to be filing at least 5 to 6 defamation actions against Mr. Ahmad. And those defamation actions will include yesterday when he says my money is illegal. I have been in business for 40 years, and he's going to have to prove, he who asserts must prove. He's going to have to prove that my money is illegal. So I will be responding to Mr. Ahmad's actions with several actions of defamation of my own. And I believe by Mr. Ahmad and his lawsuit, in fact, I think he will come out the worse for it, because I am ready with my defense, I am ready with my examples, and he will have a lot of questions to answer.
Just before I cut you, we'll have some more of the commissioners are coming up the road, and I see Nigel and team is raising the placard high for the commissioners to see. There they are. Just got that in. Got that locked. They'll be in front of the Caribbean Community Secretariat right here. I think this is also one of the places that have a voice on matters pertaining to the Caribbean and law and order in this region. Over there, but there seems to be quiet. I've not seen a statement from them on this whole matter with Adriana Younge. I haven't heard anything from them. We heard from the U.S. embassies, America embassy and the UK. Haven't heard anything from over there. Nothing as yet. The CARICOM Community Secretariat. And so we're walking up the road where it seems to be where the entourage is coming from. The Caribbean commissioners are going to be coming through that way, and the protesters are making their presence felt here at this protest line.
Yes, I was rest because I can't go back to River and come back.
So they're diverting the traffic right now, but the thing is that they're going to the traffic to let those who are coming down from the East Coast see why we're protesting, why we're out here, and the the call for justice in this country. So we're using this opportunity to highlight to the traffic that is coming down from the East Coast to Georgetown. You know, the early morning traffic is always the busiest thing in the morning. But here they are. We've moved to another location where the traffic is coming, where we can get a better view. Folks can get to see what is going on. If you look, you can see there. And if you notice, you'll see a lot of police officers coming out. Some of them in plain clothes, some of them with cameras and phone, like this one over here, taking photos, taking the wording on the placards. But there, you know, the thing about it too, this morning we were early out here. We beat the police, beat the barricade, and we got here long in advance before the whole pack of police could have gotten to this location. We were there early. We set up our placards and we put up our placards and get the commissioners when they were coming in early before the police could even catch themselves. So we are out here. I gotta get a comment from Nigel on a matter that was raised by him and that police officer. He had a confrontation with the police officer who could not say to show him just cause why someone cannot protest peacefully in front of a building. I'm gonna get a comment from him from that just now, but here we are seeing in this country daily the breaking down of democracy in this country. Well, some folks would say that democracy has already been broken down, but we are seeing every single day the destruction of our democracy in this country. Total destruction of democracy in this country. And so unless the Guyanese come out and stand up and say no, then the government, whoever that will be, will continue to deny you your justice in this country. It might not be you today. It might not be Adriana Younge's family today. It might not be Kwame Wing's family today. It might be you the next day. And what are you going to do about it? So, what are you going to do about it? So this is what we're calling for out here. We're calling for the commissioners of the Caribbean that they must join the call for justice for Adriana Younge, for justice for Adriana Younge. We are also saying that justice in Guyana is justice in the Caribbean. We are saying also that Hicking is a puppet, is a PPP puppet, and he must do his job as commissioner or resign. Hicking, the commissioner of police, who's sitting right there in the conference center among all his fellow commissioners. Now we will see his fellow commissioner will ask him questions now. What's going on, Hicking? Why are you not solving these murders? Why are you not solving these crimes? You know? So Hicking's fail record is that he has unsolved murders on his watch. Joel Henry, Isaiah Henry, Harris Singh, Ricardo, Paper Shorts, Keon Forgenet, and we have Adriana Younge, and all the other murders that they failed to solve. And so, this is what is happening in Guyana. So spread the word, share the link. We are coming to you live from the conference center location in a protest, in a peaceful protest, calling for the police commissioners in that building. So take a look, see what is happening in Guyana, and don't be fooled by the flatteries or the platitudes of the president of Guyana. He continues to show that he cannot lead our country. So the traffic is coming along this way, and Mr. Hughes, I have Nigel in front of me again. Sir, you had a confrontation with a police officer just now who could not understand.
We had an engagement.
Well, an engagement, if you want to call it that. An engagement, not a confrontation. A giaf, an engagement. Sir, what is it that the police officer failed to understand when it comes to peaceful protests?
Perhaps I should start by giving the background. So we got here about 7:45. There were no barricades up, and there was nobody in front of. Yeah. Hold on. Let's just go and catch him.
We wanna catch the American ambassador. She's passing here right now, and Nigel, she's getting there.
He must go.
She sees that just now. So yes, you.
Yeah. So at the time there were about 4 or 5 of us. There was Dr. Campbell, yourself, a couple other persons. We were standing up there. We were holding our placards in front of the Architect Convention Center. The officer came up and said that we have to move further up the street. We couldn't stay there. He wanted us to move further up the street. And I asked the officer to identify what law gives him the power to move. We actually offered to come off of the parapet and stand beneath the human rights sign outside of the convention center. He said their SOPs, i.e. the police SOPs, are that you have to move beyond the barricades. At the time there were no barricades in the eastern side. I asked him again, I said, sir, we come in peace. We want to know what law gives you that power. An SOP can't give you the power. The police can't create an SOP and make it law. They can't create an SOP and make it a regulation. What law gives you the power to say that I cannot stand underneath the human rights billboard that is about 20 feet off the road? He said he don't care. The police SOPs said that he can. I said, sir, all I'm asking you is listen, that if you proceed to arrest anybody, you have to tell them what law it is that they have broken. And he says, my position is the SOP says so, and therefore we're doing it. So we continued to stand there for a while. A couple of the, I assume, Caribbean commissioners entered. Then they moved the barricade up in an attempt to stop the morning traffic from passing. So we moved to outside the barricade. Several, obviously, official vehicles passed, I am assuming with guests. We showed them, and then they moved the barricade to stop the traffic coming, even getting to the mall or getting to CARICOM headquarters, which is where we are here. And everybody who is going both into Georgetown today, as well as the persons going, the Caribbean commissioners and their entourage going to the conference, the police conference, have seen our protest. I want to take advantage of this opportunity to say this. The American government, the government from which the largest investor in this country comes, perhaps our most significant guarantor of the integrity of our borders, has said very clearly through their representative that the immense skill and capacity of the FBI is available. All that is required, nothing else, all that is required is that a request come from the government of Guyana. That's a very simple request. The government of Guyana wishes to solicit the assistance of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the conduct of investigations into the death of little Adriana. That's all that is required. But more importantly, we conducted a poll about 2.5 months ago, and then confidence in the police force of Guyana was 30%. Since then, we've had the Linden, 2 gentlemen shot and killed by the police, and then of course we've had this completely botched investigation. Their confidence can be more than 30%. How are you possibly, with any sort of authority, going to enforce the law in a country where 1 in 5 people have confidence in it. And the difficulty with that is that you, at a real level, face the risk of a complete breakdown of law and order if the people who are responsible for enforcing the law enjoy such poor and low confidence. I hope that the commissioners of the Caribbean who are here in Guyana at a time where it is clear to the world that the incompetence of the Guyana police force is on full display, that when they, through their RSS, want to lend support to the Guyana police force as it is presently composed, that they are really and truly doing a disservice to the citizens of the Caribbean. Because this abuse of the law and misapplication of it and complete refusal to properly investigate cannot augur well for confidence. And the next step is we are going to consider inviting international investors in this country to reconsider or perhaps manage the level of their exposure in Guyana, because it is clear that the rule of law and the enforcement of it, both of those are threatened.
Nigel Hughes there, giving a comment. We have MP Beverly Alert on the line as well. Beverly, you came. You have Chairman Patterson also just arrived. Beverly, your thoughts on this line, on this morning protest as well, calling for justice. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, first, Andrew, is that the Caribbean people are one. Right now, Guyana is the fastest growing economy. But when our people suffer, when our money does not serve justice, then we are in a sad state. Then we are heading towards a failed state. And so I'm out here with my colleagues this morning because there must be justice. Not just justice for Adriana, but justice for Paper Shorts, justice for the Bacchus brothers, justice for the Henry brothers, justice for Harish Singh, and all those whose lives were cut short. And their families will never know what really happened. So I'm out here for all those who are suffering, all those who need justice. Recently we celebrated Mother's Day. That I think would have been one of the hardest days for Adriana's mother. Those little arms weren't there to hug her. Those innocent lips weren't there to kiss her face. It was no celebration for her. I am sure that myself, all the mothers in Guyana, we would have said a silent prayer for Adriana, mom, on Mother's Day. And so we need to unite as a nation and demand justice. Unfortunately, and this is really sad, we have no confidence that the Guyana police force is capable. Too many unsolved murders, unsolved crime on the Higgins watch. So we've got to do better. The government promised Adriana's mother that there would be justice. I was out there when Minister Vindhya Prasad promised 3 times, she said it to Adriana's mom and family, that there would be justice. And now we're calling for justice. The president said that no stone would be left unturned. Well, we were asking him to turn the stone and bring in the FBI. Turn the stone and bring in the Mounties. Turn the stone and bring in Interpol. Let us have justice for Adriana. That is a starting point in this country.
Yeah, Beverly Alert, MP. We have also on the line MP Dawn Hastings Williams. MP Dawn, you braved the rain, you came out, you're here to lend your voice and support to justice. You would have seen the commissioners from the Caribbean passing through this location. What would be your call to them?
All right, Andrew, good morning. Good morning to your viewers. Sun or rain, we will continue to demand justice for all injustices that have been happening in our country. Today we learned that the Caribbean, from the Caribbean are here, plenty commissioners including from the different Caribbean. Guyana is a member of CARICOM, and hence we decided to come out here, and I decided to be in solidarity with this little group to be the voice for the voiceless, and to continue to demand justice for the list that I have on my cardboard. These are just a few cases, and I want to remind each one of us that when God places money into the hands of whichever government of the day, He places that money so that you can provide food for the hungry. He places that money so that you can provide quality health for the sick. He places us that money so that you can provide voice for the voiceless. You can provide justice for the injustice. Now, the president himself, none other than the president himself, had announced or committed that, he's going to do all in his favor to ensure that justice is being done for the little Adriana Younge. How many days and weeks have passed now? The mothers are still grieving, the whole of the country, the Caribbean and the entire world is looking on, Andrew. And we need to continue to demand for justice. I want to thank all those who joined, whether you're in Guyana, out of Guyana, those who are calling for justice. Let us continue to be the voice for the voiceless.
Don Hastings, Williams there. Well, we're coming all down to...
They're down to UG Road. The block off them at UG Road. They got enough bad with information about people passing.
I didn't get that.
They have now moved the barricade because everybody is passing here. They've moved the blockade, the barriers to the UG Road.
Wow.
Nothing wrong
So
with
they will
peaceful
probably want
protest.
us to walk up to UG Road.
Oh no.
We have special branch people here. We got KK officers. But yeah, that's where they. But we came out for an hour finished. So we want to thank the people who've joined you online and thank those that came out here today.
All right.
We'll be back out again.
All right. Thank you, sir. That's it. That's it for our protest this morning. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for viewing. We have accomplished our task, and we're going to see you right back here on another protest. Thank you. Yeah, we're still live, Mr. Patterson. Your thoughts on the protest this morning? We had a little confrontation with the police and Mr. Nigel Hughes pertaining to SOPs because we're on the line with SOPs. Your thoughts? You think it's another tactic from the government?
Oh yes, obviously, there are some good policemen, there are some policemen that follow orders. Then there are obviously people that we think that should not be here. That's why we're out here protesting. It's free speech. Amazing. I heard American ambassador say yesterday, that she will welcome protesters, but in Guyana they don't. So that just tells you how it is. The American ambassador said she doesn't mind anybody even protesting ministry, the embassy. But in Guyana we can't even do that. We can't make enough protest in front of to express our rights, to discussing the way they're handling the Adriana Younge and for Jonas, the guys from Linden who has not been charged. We can't even express how we feel about these things without being stopped by the police. But in the end, justice will prevail.
What would your call to the commissioners in that building over there?
Well, take a good look at our commissioner. Take a good look at and look at him. Yeah, boys, and see what see how he's performing. Reading newspapers. I'm sure they read social media, so that we can actually see what's happening here. Come on. In no other country, none of those commissioners that there are retired. None of them are part of the age of retirement and are still on the job. So he should be ashamed of himself to still be on the job when he's part of the age of retirement, stopping all good young policemen who've been waiting for ages to get the position. He's squatting there in the position and not doing a good job. You could understand if he was an excellent commissioner, you could say, well, fair enough. You want to keep him there to train the younger person to next in line and those things like that. But sadly, he's not doing a good job. So we think that it's time to get that. He should step down, particularly now during this period when the country is calling for justice.
Patterson there for you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. That's David Patterson. And that's our job for this morning. Thank you all for viewing. We're going to see you right back here again for another protest.